Hello everyone, just going to crack off a quick one as it were, if you'll pardon the double entendre. Got quite a bit on today and it's been a pretty hectic week so far, so just going to do a pretty quick one and try and be as quickly as I can, which is difficult knowing the way that I ramble, but fingers crossed we can just get on with this quite quickly. So this one you've probably already seen from the title, and if you don't know it already you're probably thinking Poit Dhubh, Poit Dhubh, what? It's a Gaelic whiskey, or it's from a company called the Gaelic Whiskies, and also called something else which I'll go into in a second. This is a blended malt, which is called, and it's pronounced, Poit Dhubh. It is Gaelic words, it's the Gaelic pronunciation, so it's spelled different to how it's actually pronounced. So Poit Dhubh is how you're wanting to pronounce this, and it means either black pot or illicit still. Now, this is from a company, they call themselves the Gaelic Whiskies, and the website address is gaelicwhiskies.co.uk, but it was a company set up by a guy called Sir Ian Noble in 1976, and he looks like this. Now, he was a landowner on the Isle of Skye and also quite a successful businessman as well. And although he was a non-Gaelic speaker, he was really interested in the language and actually kind of took it up and learnt it himself. And he was really keen, particularly on Skye, to kind of reintroduce Gaelic into everyday usage. And he was responsible for the erection of the first Gaelic road signs in Scotland. He actually owned the first Gaelic checkbook from the Bank of Scotland, and he was very positive about the local people on Skye. He was very kind of proactive for them, and in 1976 he established the company. Now, it's spelled like this. Now, I know that this is pronounced Poit Dhubh because I have read various websites saying this is how you pronounce it. They also do a blend, which looks as though it's pronounced teabag, but it's actually pronounced chevek. This word, I don't know how it's pronounced. I think it's probably something like Pravnalan, but I'm not 100% certain because I don't speak Gaelic and I wouldn't want to offend anybody. So if you do know how to pronounce that, that's the name of the company. And apparently it means a smuggler's den on the sound of sleet. And it's not sleet as in the kind of stuff that falls from the sky. It's Sleat, which is a peninsula on the south of Skye. So I'm going to go with Pravnalan as the name of the company. So Sir Ian Noble set up this company essentially as not as a distillery, but as a company that would buy stock from other distilleries, predominantly Talisker, but also other distilleries, and either make blended whiskey or blended malts, of which Poit Dhubh is a blended malt. That one. Now, this is a slightly older bottling. This is what it looks like now. If you can find it, you're looking at about £25 to £30 for the 8-year-old. So that means that the youngest malt in here is an 8-year-old. They also have a 12, a 21-year-old, and they do a limited edition 30-year-old as well from time to time. So I've completely lost my train of thought already, and there was me trying to keep it short. Yes, so they're buying stocks from various distilleries and partly maturing it once they've blended them together in some coastal areas on Skye. So Poit Dhubh is a blended malt, chevek is a blend, but it's a slightly smokier blend, and they also have another one called McNamara, which is it's another blended whiskey, but it's a lighter style of blend. I'm hoping I've got chevek on the way. McNamara I haven't yet been able to find, so if anybody out there has got a 2.5 cl sample of McNamara they want to send my way, that would be fantastic. So, from what I can gather, there is Talisker in this, a fair chunk of Talisker, possibly an Islay as well, if not more than one Islay. Now, I did read Kalila mentioned somewhere, but that's not necessarily true. It was just a comment in one of the reviews I read, and also some Speyside whiskies. what Speyside whiskies there are, and it's not like there's not that many of them. So I don't know, I couldn't tell you, but it seems pretty clear that Talisker is kind of the predominant character of this, because they're on Skye, it's next door, they might as well. So very, very highly regarded is both Poit Dhubh and Cheviot. McNamara, not less regarded, but is not as prevalent as Poit Dhubh and Cheviot are. So now this is unchill filtered, and they make quite a big point of saying it's unchill filtered. If you read their website, it's almost like they were one of the first companies to really push non-chill filtration, and they were responsible for non-chill filtered becoming part of the industry. It's a bold claim, it might be true, but they really do push the fact that they're not chill filtered. I would hazard a guess that they're also not adding colour to it as well. Having said that, this is quite a considerably dark whiskey. If there isn't, it surprises me if there's not, because it's a lovely deep colour. It may not be, and if it's not, then it's a fantastic coloured whiskey. Now, if there is Talisker in it, it's not hugely obvious on the nose. There is a bit of pepperiness, but it's certainly not as intense as you would find with standard Talisker. There's a really nice sweetness to it as well, very, very raisiny, very dark fruits, sort of raisins and currants and sultanas. Very smooth. There is a nice pepperiness to it, not too much of a medicinal peatiness to it. If there is, it's very, very gentle and very subtle. Sorry, it's bottled at 43% as well. Now the Talisker's starting to come through. Now there's that pepperiness. There is an Islay tang to it as well. Talisker for me was almost more black pepper than anything else, and it's kind of black pepper and bonfire smoke. And this definitely got some Islay in it as well, because there's that medicinal line just coming through as well now. There's a mintiness to it. There's some dark chocolate. Again, the raisins and the currants and the sultanas that were there on the nose, they're supporting everything. It's a really well balanced whiskey. That peppery note hits you at the back of the throat, but it's not harsh. There's a lovely sweetness that follows through and kind of surrounds it. There's some dark fruit in there. There is a slightly toffeed element to it as well. Again, really subtle line of medicinal coming through there, and menthol as well. It's a very well balanced whiskey, and this is the 8-year-old as well. I think that the 12, I'd love to try the 21 and the 30. I think I've had the 12 before, but even as just an 8-year-old, it's kind of their entry level version. It's a very, very good whiskey indeed. Fantastic balance, a really nice combination of flavours, a really good one for people that like Islay and don't want it to, or people that kind of like Islay but don't really like the heavily peated stuff. But I think if you're a heavily peated Islay drinker as well, there's enough in there that it will actually satisfy you. It's a lovely sweetness to it. It's really, really good whiskey, really good. Loads and loads of going on in there, incredibly well balanced, a lovely finish to it, all sorts of things popping off, and smoke and iodine and mint and toffee and dark fruits and fruitcake and just loads of stuff going on there, but they're all married really well. Beautiful, really, really good whiskey, fantastic stuff. And if you can find that for about 25 quid just for the 8-year-old, superb stuff, absolutely brilliant. It'd be great to do the 4 of them as a vertical tasting as well, I can imagine. It would be fantastic to find out what the 21 and the 30-year-old are, because if they've got the balance right on those as they have with that, whew, that is going to be something special. Right, that's me done. I'm going to go carry on with the stuff that I was doing beforehand, and I will see you at the next one. Cheers.